Happy Wednesday. I gave you a little interval in between because we have things to do. And I give you enough time with the other readers so that you can come back and have a fresh perspective. I get tired of repeating of the same things every day. However, we have some fresh downloads today. All right. I'm going to tell you what I observed when I woke up. When I woke up with a lot of words. Okay. I woke up with a lot of words pushing me about. Right. So that means there was a lot of talking, a lot of communication through the night, a lot of maybe internet, maybe text, maybe group chat. There is a lot of that. There was a lot of group chat last night, a lot of group thinking, think tanks, going back to the drawing board, and a lot of questioning. Everyone is questioning where they were so sure. There's a lot of questions now, okay? All right. When I woke up, the first thing I did was survey my environment, right? So I go and I look, there's a cat. There's a cat at the end of the alley. It's a big gray cat, but the way he's sitting there is like a sentinel. It's like almost like someone said, hey, you sit here and you don't move. And when I looked, he was looking back and forward. He kept his tail curtly tucked close to his body as he looked from side to side. So he kept his head on the pivot, which allows me to feel like there is protection. There is spiritual protection. Cats are ancient. They have ancient wisdom and things of that nature. So that was a good sign having a cat at the end of the alley as though it was guarding it, okay? And it was gray. So that's telling me that we're in a bit of a gray area as we figure these things out. The gray area means neither yes nor no, but it does give enough room for research and inquisition and curiosity. So in the gray area, no one's quite made a decision, but everybody's kind of starting to figure out what side they want to be on as far as going forward. Okay? So that part. Then I looked up further. There were workmen, servicemen, working on a light. They were working on a light pole. And I guess those things are done in the midst of the night, in the middle of the day. I've seen it done all kinds of times of day. But in this neighborhood, I would say that things done for improvement are done when most are not looking. I'll say this again. The things from in the area where I am, the things that are for improvement are usually done when most aren't looking. That's that. And then when I looked, okay, so I saw three things. When I looked down, there was the cat. When I looked up to the right, there was the guy putting in the light. And that also is a sign for guidance. When you have guiding light, right? Remember that soap opera? Everybody does. Guiding light. So those lights, having those lights there, they're like landmarks. So that's also a way to see another perspective, right? Remember, I told you the cat was gray. He was standing there as if on guard. But the gray also signifies a perspective. Someone is in the gray, okay? So then when I looked to the left, I looked down a little to the left, I saw a black on black cop car. This is one that I've been seeing a lot of times. Wherever I am, I look up and I see this black on black cop car. It's black and it has like a grayish kind of police signature on it, right? Signage on it, right? So that's the third thing that I seen in the gray area, within the gray area. But it's a way of sight. So we'll say that that's like the SUV of honor because it's like I think it is a police car. I don't know if it had forensics on it or police, but it's a black on black police car. It had the lights on and everything. So as I'm looking, it just gives me a different perspective. The place in where I am, and it has been in a forced transition. However, There are some people who would like to keep things that the way they are for the rest of their lives. However, it's not good for them, it's not good for the neighborhood, and it's not good going forward, right? As much as people would like to keep some things the same, a lot of things have to change. Okay, so let's get into the message. Hello, hello, hello. Good morning. Congratulations. Happy birthday. And condolences to those. There has been a lot of violence, unfortunately, in our streets. Prayer for those, condolences for those, and comfort for those who deserve it, okay? There are a lot of things going on, and we don't necessarily know the layers in which they are operating under. A lot of times we say, oh, that person was a good guy, that person never did this, that person never did that. Well, two things can be true. Yes, that person might have been good to their family. They might have been good to their environment. They might have been good to themselves at some point in time, or that is the way it was perceived. However, when some people get to shaking hands and having certain conversations and making certain business deals behind the doors, you don't know in which way that'll play out. Okay, a lot of times the ugliest way that it plays out is someone in the family gets targeted, someone gets unalived, someone gets kidnapped, someone gets assaulted, right? And a lot of times you don't understand, and the most easiest way to explain it is to say a natural disaster had happened, or to feign ignorance, like you do not know in where the problem originated from. And a lot of times, some of these people know. Some of the people crying the hardest at the funeral are the people that actually do have the answers. It's just that it would embarrass them, and it would provide too much guilt to let someone know that they are the reason why their family member is in that situation, or they were the target, or they were the determination on whether or not that thing happened. Okay, sometimes it's as simple as letting someone know where you are, and you did not know that that person didn't have a good intention for you, or leaving your food around, leaving your drink around, or having a conversation not knowing that you're basically justifying this person's anger or this person's revenge or whatever this person has in store. Sometimes we can be carelessly giving information, not understanding or not looking at the person we're giving information to, and understanding that maybe we should shut up, or maybe we should change the conversation, or maybe we should be rerouting everything all together. Okay, so a lot of times we have to pay attention to who we're talking to and what we're saying to the people who we're talking to. So let's get into it. All right. Backbiting. Some people are the very picture of backbiting. You can give them anything. You can feed them. You can give them clothing. You can give them room and board. You can give them housing. You can give them everything, and they'll still find a way to justify treating you wrong while you've given them everything right. Okay, that's a lot of backbiting. A lot of that comes from a lot of childhood abandonment. A lot of people don't understand that they have indeed abandoned themselves in childhood. A lot of times when you get into older spaces, when you're too young to understand, you will get a feeling in yourself that makes you feel as though you are grown, and you will abandon your childhood and your imagination for things that seem conventional, such as material things, money, and the pursuit of companionship. In the wake of abandoning your own childhood, which a lot of us have done, some have done consciously, some done unconsciously, you have abandoned your own self, which means that you've abandoned the things that you deem childish. All right? So when you decide that you're going to bypass childhood and decide to live as an adult way before your time, you don't get to understand, and that also puts you in a dangerous territory with other adults that do understand that you know nothing of being an adult. A lot of times you do lose the value of your childhood, you do lose the value of your imagination and creation when you decide to forego childhood and you supersede into adulthood. But some of us, we've been put into adult situations way too early, making us abandon our own childhood in exchange for the logics of adulthood. Not understanding that that was our last bit of freedom, that was our access to our value and our purpose in our childhood. So please don't take your childhood for granted, and please don't allow your children to bypass those moments. You can't get those back. You have a lot of adults nowadays, here now, still trying to pursue a childhood at the ripe age of 60 and 50 and 70 and 80. Not saying that that is a crime. What I'm saying is, had you not bypassed your childhood early on, you would not be trying to jack everybody else for their innocence and their creativity so late in life. Okay, so you have to remember not to pursue adulthood way before you should, okay? And a lot of that can come from hanging around with older people way before your time. A lot of times they're not going to tell you, oh, and go act childish, stay in a child's place. And most of the time when they use that term, stay in a child's place, is used for bullying. It's usually used used as a step down or a slap back to put you to basically it's like a gaslighting technique. What is a child's place exactly? A child place is everywhere where it's happy and it's safe. If you are not in a child's place, you need to really, really question where you are. Because anywhere children aren't safe, 9 times out of 10, there's going to be a place where regular human beings, which are adults, aren't safe, especially if they're not operating in their south node, okay? Any bit of innocence on an adult will be taken advantage of by other adults who have foregone their childhood. Okay? That part. And you won't value your imagination. You won't value your creativity until it's too late. And the only thing that would make you look or value your creativity is actually looking at the innocence and the purity of another human being able to create, being able to imagine without any barriers or boundaries. This is how a lot of people get jealous of the George Lucases of life. A lot of people get jealous of a lot of the authors and a lot of the producers and everything because they don't understand the value of imagination or creativity. Yes, that nerd, that geek, that dork that you talked about relentlessly, unbeknownst to you, the words, the venomous words that you spewed out to that geek, that dork, that nerd, you were actually jealous because you weren't able to express yourself in that way without repercussion from your environment or even from yourself. A lot of times we are our own worst judge. You ever did something and said, oh man, I'm a nerd, I'm a geek. But you said it in such a derogatory way that it made you hide yourself. It made you hide yourself from who you really are. Or you ever been around a friend that says, oh, you do too much. Have you ever tried to sing and then they say, oh, you oversing. You didn't have to carry that note that long. Usually that comes from somebody who can't do it or can't value it because this is something that wasn't valued in their home, wasn't valued by their parent or their peers. So they take precedence by trying to knock you down because they remember how they felt when their peer or their parent or their sibling did that to them. So they try to transfer those feelings to you because how dare you be comfortable being a dork, a geek, or a nerd when I wasn't ever able to do that. They made fun of my projects. They knocked over the things that I thought were cool, even though they didn't think were cool. And it goes on and on and on with the cycle if you repeat and you don't heal and you don't choose to embrace yourself. Sometimes you've got to be the brave one to say, you know what? I like that I'm a dork. I like that I'm a nerd. I like that I'm a geek. I like that I do things that you don't necessarily feel good about. That makes one less person I have to invite or explain these things to. No, instead, we value other people's opinion instead of the thing that we were doing that we valued in the first place. We allow someone else or some other perspective to come in and change the way in which we see ourselves and we value ourselves, all because of a moment of comfort that really never quite came if you weren't comfortable in the first place. So be careful of trading your value for validation. I'd rather you make fun of me, call me duty heads and everything else, but guess what? All of those things brought me to a full circle of imagination, creation. I'm never lonely because I always got myself and a thought to nourish. And those are the things that you can do to replace that vast emptiness that we call either adulthood or backbiting. A lot of times, a person isn't backbiting on you because you did anything wrong. They just don't know how to receive it in the right way. So you become the villain and they become a victim in a situation that never even occurred. It's called delusional. Some people need to make you the bad guy so that they can come up with their own version of a good guy. Whether it's good or not, it's just their version of it, okay? So a lot of times you won't understand these people. Sometimes you have to stop asking why and you have to say, you know what? Okay. You have to accept it and walk away because you can't change a person once they've abandoned themselves. Once a person abandons themselves, they're going to feel like everyone abandoned them because they've already done the deed. So it's easy to attach that label to everyone because why would I tell myself that I abandoned myself? Why would I tell myself the truth when I obviously know the truth hurts me? So I'd rather lie to you, myself, and to society and become society's what? Pet. Because it feels a lot better to pull on everybody's heartstrings disingenuously is to actually allow people to have empathy or not for me. I have to be in control of other people's emotions because I wasn't in control of my view of my own self. So I have to remotely pull on everyone to actually feel as though I have value. And through that, that's the validation. Okay? So hopefully I didn't hurt your head too much with that. Okay? All right, let's go. Yesterday was Libra the reins. So someone's definitely starting to let go of the reins or they're starting to understand they don't have a lot of control. Okay? So from today and tomorrow, that's Scorpio secrets. So if you got any secrets, if you got anything that you haven't said out loud, maybe say it out loud to yourself first and see how that feels. Reflect. Do a little bit of deep diving into yourself to see what these words feel like when you say them out loud before you get ready to say that to someone else. Because 9 times out of 10, you may need to come clean with someone to erase some of your karmic debt, okay? And then after that, there'll be 3 days in Sagittarius, which is the thighs, the legs, the thighs, okay? The thighs are powerhouses. They have a lot of muscles in them. Without your thighs, there would be a lot of not standing up great. There wouldn't be a shelf. You wouldn't have a booty. You wouldn't have glutes. A lot of times, if you don't have the muscles leading up to or the muscles leading down to, what are we doing? That's why a lot of people should not skip leg day. I know it seems like I'm all over the place, but there's a body of information, okay? After the Sag, the 3 days in Sag, 24th, 25th, 26th, then there's Capricorn for 2 days. That's the 27th and the 28th. Those are the knees. Knee health. Be careful how you're stepping. Be careful with hydration. You do need to hydrate because of your joints. Joint stiffness does come from dehydration and lack of nutrients, antioxidants, and vitamins that do support health, body health, bone health, musculature health. That a lot of time lactose, depending on your body, whether or not you're lactose intolerant or not, there is muscle milk. Muscle milk will help with myopic fluids, the fluids that that build up as you work out that cause the cramping in those body parts, okay? And then we're going to leave out the end of the month, which is the 29th to the 31st with aqua, which is legs, the whole entire thing. We got thighs, we got knees, then we got the leg, okay? So remember, do not skip leg health, especially when it comes to women. That is the leading cause to a lot of thrombosis, a lot of blood clots leading up to the heart, leading up to the main body. We definitely have to make sure we're doing our leg health. For the men, women don't like skinny legs and big bodies. Try to even it out, proportionate. The same way you don't like those BBL legs, the legs, the Tweety Bird legs with the big butt. We don't like very skinny legs with the big old body because we feel as though we could push you over and you should roll. Gone is the day where we really like the guy that looks like a martini glass. We're going to need you to stand on something, okay, better than a stem. The thing that looks like a martini glass should have a drink in it, not you. Yeah, gone is the time where a lot of women appreciate alcoholics. You may be drinking for liquid courage, but you have no idea of the things you say once you get a little bit too much in you. You get a little too bold, you get a little too handsy, you get a little too touchy, and you really do say the things that you really want to say when you're sober. But we're going to need you to stay a little bit more sober because that is not the way in which to deliver truth, okay? All right, so that part. And another part of the message, this is the important part. I know me, myself, I'm talking about me. This is from my personal experience. I come from a place where I used to tell people all the time, I don't understand a person hustling in the same spot for 20, 30 years and they never own anything. But they run around and they tell people, oh, I've been here, I've been hustling over here for 30 years, 20 years, I've been hanging here for 20 and 30 years. Yet someone can pull up and tell you to get off their property. Yet the police could pull up and lock you up for loitering and things of that nature. And the thing about it is, I said this 20, 30 years ago, and to return back to the same hood that I said it in and to still see people still sitting there doing the same thing, still not owning anything, just still hanging on other people's property and saying, well, this my hood, this my this. You make no sense. You make no sense, okay? I'm going to tell you why you make no sense. And a lot of reasons why a lot of the men around, this is why I have a lot of men pissed off with me now, because I did say that to them and I meant it when I said it. And then I turned around and came back and decided to buy something in the hood. The same place I said, there's no point in you hanging in a place where you'll never own anything. I stuck to my word, and that is one things that will piss off a lot of people once you start growing. Imagine hanging with a bunch of people, saying what you're going to do, and then doing it while they sitting there telling people, oh, they ain't about nothing. They ain't going to do it. I'm going to do this. They going to do that. They not going to do this. And then imagine you sit there and say, well, I'm going to keep making them fail. I'm going to sabotage them. I'm going to talk bad about them. They ain't going to never do it. Trying to put you in a whole different category than you actually are. And then you still, out of everything that they said, out of everything that they built up, out of all of the disagreements, out of everybody saying, oh, they ain't going to do it, all of the naysayers and disbelievers, you actually do it. And then to add insult, the people that come back and see you actually do it, you no longer speak to, because they had the nerve to disbelieve you right then in real time. So when they see you 20, 30 years later and you did everything you told them that you were going to do, they mad with you. Specifically me. They mad. I'm going to tell you why they upset. It's because I told them that I would own or try to own a place where I'd been. I don't see no point in bragging about a place where you can't pull up and put your name on something. I got through that. I don't see no point in hanging around all day waiting for a come up and you ain't willing to do no coming up. I didn't do that. I decided I was going to go to work. I would look at everybody, see their decisions, see what they didn't do, and say, you know what? I'm going to go do what you won't do. You got a lot of people running around talking about, well, I'm too good to work. I ain't going to work. I don't have to. But they want the benefit of what happens when it comes to work. Or you got people who say that they don't have to work that hard, yet they want to party that hard. They want to live that hard. And the only way to do that without working is to steal and scam and fraud. So you imagine you go do everything you said you were going to do. And the same people who thought that they were going to hustle in circles and do 50 times what you were going to do, still in the same place, still not owning things, still sitting on other people's property, still having no real place to go, still hanging with the same people doing the same things. Of course they're going to be mad with you when you did everything by the book. When they told themselves they were going to get fast money and supersede you. Okay, I got slow money. I gotta go to work money. I got a supervisor money. I can't afford to get caught up in this type of money. And then you did all of your big one, and you still haven't gone past where you thought you were going past. I can understand why you was upset. But what I don't understand is why you tried to sabotage me. I wasn't trying to sabotage you. You want to call the police on me for going to work, but I'm not calling police on you for trying to hide packs. You understand? You want to call the police on me for sweeping my yard. But I'm not calling the police on you for throwing trash. You understand? So a lot of people got upset when they saw you outgrow where they thought you would never go. A lot of people got upset. The other day, for instance, Mexicans got on boots, y'all. I seen them. I seen them in real life. I seen them in real life. They had on boots, but we wasn't in jail. Okay, they wasn't in jail. So I decided to go to the store. I see two Mexican guys on a moped riding behind the black guy on a bike. So he pedaling. So we in the hood. I'm thinking hood shit about to happen. They going somewhere to go make some type of exchange, right? So I'm trying not to look, but I'm looking because it looked a little funny. So the guy ride up in the alley, right? And the Mexicans, is two of them on the moped. They ride behind them. One got on a helmet, one don't. Now, me thinking, I'm like, look, they going to go in the alley and they going to do whatever exchange. And boom, bam. That did not happen. Straight up action happened. I'm glad that I was there. Sometimes I like to see the tea. I don't like to be in the tea. So here you go. Black guy never gets off the bike. He like looking back, right, with his back arch. You know, the strong back thing, right? Bam. So he looking back, right? I think he was supposed to stop because I think they gave him money or something and they were supposed to been following him to go get something. Man, he got to the point in that alley where they couldn't get through because it was two of them on the moped and he kept going. So I seen the guy get off the moped and he tried to throw a rock at him and they were both chasing him up the alley and I was like, damn. Now, a regular person see that like, shit, that's funny. He beat them. I don't think that's funny at all. I'm going to tell you why. One, leave them damn folks alone. Two, you don't know who the fuck they're affiliated with. Let's explain. All right, now, see, a little thing Trump did and all them, I don't know whose administration, Biden, I don't know who did it. They let them in, right? A lot of them are coming from cartels, M13, Sinaloa, certain things of that nature. A lot of them came up here because they couldn't do shit down there. All right, let me explain a little further. Y'all is fucking with people who got thrown out of their own country, their mother country. Hold up, I got some minnows. Yeah. Lot better. Okay. So yeah. So y'all dealing with people that got thrown out of their own country for God knows what, right? So they coming up here and they trying to stay out the way. They hanging with each other for a reason. It's a reason why they stay to themselves, right? And you decide when it comes to the dinero, y'all gonna play with their dinero, but you gotta understand why they got thrown out of their country. A lot of y'all play too fucking much. Y'all been up here playing a lot. Y'all take y'all citizenship for granted, not realizing a lot of these people got put out of the country that they was in because they was doing some shit obviously that was unforgivable, so they got put up here. Now, y'all up here playing with them. Y'all think shit a game because they running around in jean shorts and flip-flops and shit all day. But these men is working real fucking hard, and not to mention they got put out of their own country, which means they must have did some shit to get put the fuck out, okay? And got put up here. So now y'all up here, I'm gonna ride my bike. I'm not gonna take life serious. I'm just gonna sell stuff, steal stuff, have sex in my mom's basement, create a whole bunch of generations of bum, and turn up every weekend, right? You doing that. They didn't come from where they could do that. A lot of them came from where they had to feed their mama and their father and their brothers and their sisters and their cousins and everybody the hell else from a young age. So they've been working hard for a long time. And some of them took a lot of risks and got put out of their country for the risk that they took, okay? So now they up here trying to take it easy because this is their second chance up here. Y'all been playing all y'all damn lives. Now y'all want to play with them? Now y'all want to play with them. Down. Okay. So, I don't feel sorry when I wake up and I hear stories where they be like somebody's head got decapitated and things of that nature, because y'all up here playing with these people thinking because they wear flip-flops and jean shorts all day and they like to listen to mariachi music and hang with the family all day, that they won't come and get your ass in the middle of the goddamn night. You ain't always on that bike, sir, pedaling. We forget that a lot of people that are coming from all of these other countries ain't come up here to play. Me being a crux and a bridge between the Caribbean and actually being born here on American soil and being American, it's a lot of things we take for granted on American soil. And this is why you really can't be sitting there playing when it comes to people who have immigrated here for a better life to live, which means that this was their last chance. You sitting up here taking all your shit for granted because you feel as though you could just cross another state and go get a clean slate. No, your slate goes with you. You were born here, which means you should have been the first in line to understand all the advantage that you had. No, it takes for somebody to come from a third world country with a damn sack and flip flops to show you what this place could do. You get all offended because this person done ran circles around you with the very resources that you've been born into, and now you pissed and you want to keep saying the white man this, the white man that. But why are you measuring yourself by another man? Why you can't measure yourself by your own imagination? Oh, my bad. You abandoned your imagination long time ago because you wanted to be this, you wanted to be that, you wanted to be yo on the TV. You can't get nowhere without no imagination or no creation. But you've abandoned yourself, and you tell yourself you entitled to everyone else's access, you entitled to everyone else's coattail, you entitled to everyone else's idea. Some of you don't even have a driver's license, yet alone a passport. You can't go no damn where, but you want everybody to be a ticket to you getting everywhere. Make it make sense. You think your anger, you think your angst, you think your jealousy, you think your envy is going to take you far? It'll take you somewhere, but it won't take you far. It'll get you dropped off more often than taken. Stop trying to get people to pick up the torch where you have put it down because you felt entitled, because you say, I'm born in America. I'm born this. I'm born that. Or you take your struggle and you make your struggle so big that it becomes your lifestyle, that it now becomes a problem and never a solution. Don't like that. I remember an artist I wanted to work with when I first started my journey on entrepreneurship. I was looking for an ambassador for my brand. I liked her because she was different and she had some word skill, word play. She can rap, she can flow on any beat. My issue is once she stopped flowing on any beat, she start talking scarcity to every and anyone around her. This woman had African descent. She was mixed with African. She had the culture. She had everything. But it seemed like every other sentence to everyone else around us was, they are killing us. They are starving us. We are dying. Honey, we are in New York in the midst of, on whatever street we were on, going to the club with pockets full of money. Let's not talk about the struggle right here. And she couldn't let go of that part, not understanding that the people that were around us were going to take us for crumbs because of the simple fact that that's all she kept saying. It was like she was shaking a can. Yet here we are in the line at the nightlife, and you're shaking a can, and you are the artist. You are misrepresenting straight like that. And she got upset because I told her so. A lot of people will get upset when you start telling them the truth, and now you are the problem. Now you are a villain. Now you're too big for your britches. I have to humble you. No, why aren't you up? Why don't you do more? Don't try to humble me. Why are you so humble when it comes to you living your life and going forward? Why are you scraping for crumbs instead of trying to find the recipe for a whole loaf? You want to brag about the corner of something when someone actually can tell you the experience from the middle on out? A lot of people won't like you when you can actually show them the work. Unfortunately, for a lot of the more educated women, a lot of the men are upset. They're not upset because you did good. They're upset because they didn't do it. And they have no foothold to tell you what to do with it because they didn't do it and they didn't make it. And they're looking for someone stupid enough to let them come in and tell them what to do with something that they didn't even have the goal to build. They're trying to trick you out of your brain. Not out of your spot, because you need to have a spot, because where they going to lay at? Especially if you don't want to lay in their mother's basement with them. God forbid she had to knock on the wall and say, keep it down in there. But you'll get upset about that, but you ain't moving out. You'll say under your breath, I hate my mother. Why? Why? She brought you here. You don't hate yourself for not having more motivation to move out. Don't skate around the facts. Some people make other people uncomfortable not because they deserve to be made uncomfortable. It's because they're not comfortable. So if everyone in the room is squirming, they feel like they have company. Misery loves company. But they won't tell it. And the minute you start squirming, they'll start pointing, look, that person is miserable. That person is miserable. And forget all the facts that they're miserable too. I never saw the point of traveling towards someone to say, hey, look at them. But you know when you're pointing the three fingers and sometimes the thumb is pointing back at you. I'm going to be like the Mexicans with the boots on. How dare you? After I survive all of what I survived, you coming and you trying to make me go through more? Why? Is it because you don't like the way I'm suffering in my jean shorts? You grew up with a teacher. You grew up with your own room. You grew up with a chance. I grew up in a situation where I had to make do what I had to make do. However, I made it past where you made it past while you sat there and you made something, a very, very uncomfortable situation, something like a pillow. But your anger toward me is not justified. It can't be justified when you decided to make a very uncomfortable situation home. I'm not saying that those people would be right for enacting any violence on you, but you have to see. You're playing games with people that lived a much harder life. You're playing games with people that really don't have a chance, who've been chased and chastised everywhere. They come to be left alone, and yet you decided you want to mix in. This is why I say everybody isn't invited to the cookout. Everybody shouldn't be at the cookout. You don't understand what's going on at the cookout. You don't understand who's going to be on the fire. Who's the shrimp on the Barbie? Hey, how about instead of you invite everybody else to the cookout, you learn about the cookout. You be the cookout. You provide the whole cookout. And maybe you wouldn't be so quick to keep inviting everyone. The only people who think it's so easy to keep inviting people are the people who never do the work. Those are the people who like everything catered. Those are the people who don't like to get their hands dirty. And once again, stop telling me about the white man while you're jealous of him. Stop telling me about the white man while you're trying to weigh yourself by what he would do, but you're actually just jealous because you want to do the exact same thing, but you can't do it on no scale. So stop telling me about him. Why don't you tell me about you? How do you live? Is there an improvement in how you live and how you operate and how you talk and how you think? I found there's someone good in every single race. That's because I've never abandoned my imagination or my creativity. I have not abandoned myself. Some people need to go and refine themselves. Where are you on your own personal GPS? Are you finding yourself, or are you finding many versions of yourself that you are comfortable with? How many people does it take for you to feel comfortable? Or do you feel comfortable by yourself? That is a question. Either way, that was the message. Okay, let's get into the Bible verse. I know you thought I was done. Yay! No. Okay, so let's get into the Bible verse. I have 17, which is Psalms. Psalms 17, a prayer of David. Okay, let's go. I used to say David when I used to work for Lois Cone. David. I miss her. She was kind. She wasn't nice. She was very hardball. She held none of her words. She cut no corners. She cut no cards. And I appreciate her for that because she basically let me know, if you want to be special, you have to be special. If you are special, then act special. And never allow anyone, no matter what they're doing or how they're treating you, to make you feel like you're not special. She gave me resilience. She was a very good example of resilience, habit, method, and ritual. Rest in heaven, Lois Cone. Hear the right, O Lord. Attend unto my cry, give ear unto my prayer, that goeth not out of fiend lips. Let my sentence come forth from thy presence. Let thine eyes behold the things that are equal. Thou hast proved mine heart. Thou hast visited me in the night. Thou hast tried me and shalt find nothing. I am purposed that my mouth shall not transgress. Concerning the works of men by the word of thy lips, I have kept me from the paths of the destroyer. Hold up my goings in thy paths, that my footsteps slip not. I have called upon thee, for thou wilt hear me. O God, incline thine ear unto me, and hear my speech. Show thy marvelous loving kindness, O thou that savest by the right hand them which put their trust in thee from those that rise up against them. Keep me as the apple of the eye, hide me under the shadow of thy wings. From the wicked that oppress me, from my deadly enemies who compass me about. They are enclosed in their own fat, with their mouth they speak proudly. They have now compassed us in our steps. They have set their eyes bowing down to the earth. Like as a lion that is greedy of his prey, and as if it were a young lion lurking in secret places. Arise, O Lord, disappoint him, cast him down, deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword. From men which are thy hand, O Lord, from men of the world, which have their portion in this life, and those whose belly thou fillest with thy hid treasure. They are full of children, and leave the rest of their substance to their babes. As for me, I will behold thy face in righteousness. I shall be satisfied when I awake with thy likeness. Amen, Selah. So be it. So let it be. Ashe, ashe, ashe. And that was Psalm 17. That was so full. They have now compassed us in our steps. They have set their eyes bowing down to the earth, like as a lion that is greedy of his prey, and as if it were a young lion lurking in the places. Amen. And this is what I was also saying, because we are heading into Leo season. Big cat. So Cancer is breast and Leo is heart, right? Leo, brave heart, lion heart, okay? And that is what I was saying as far as Leo season. We are going into the big cat, the young lion and the otter, the scorpion, the dragon. I'm grabbing back the book because I wanted to look at it. The apple of the eye. It's so many things that we see, and they're sewn into pillows. They're put on different little memes. They're put on different little things that we hang on our walls, and they're affirmations, and they're small little things from the Bible that you cannot mistake. The apple of the eye. Hide me under the shadow of thy wings. From men which are thy hand, O Lord, from men of the world, which have their portion in this life, and whose belly thou fillest with thy hidden treasure. They are full of children, and leave the rest of their substance to their babes. And this is the order in which it should be. However, we're in a situation to where they are not trying to leave anything, any substance to our babes. They are leading them down the paths of uncleanliness, and they are doing so that they can steal the purity of their youth, so that they can put life insurance policies on them, okay? So that they can collect welfare payments on them, so they can collect Social Security and disability checks. We have a lot of people getting old, but they're not growing up. A lot of them are not leaving anything for their kids and their grandkids and their generations, leaving them to scarcity tactics, leaving them to scamming and frauding other people, leaving them to eat other people up as bread, things that we should not be doing. We should be teaching forward, not teaching backwards. See, a lot of you will say, oh, well, the slave master did this and a lot of y'all grew up to be your own slave masters within your own family. You need not look at any other race, because now you have become massa in your own bloodline, and you're beating the hell out of your generations because you choose not to go forward and live better or teach better. You wouldn't save or sacrifice a thing because you told yourself you have to look the part. You have to look good, but nothing is good about you. Nothing has been preserved for the family. Nothing. You have nothing to hand down to the next generation but bad advice and bad credit. And to see anyone in your family do any better than you have to take them down because they can't be the example that you decided you would not be. You decided not to take your calling. So because you decided not to take up your calling, you decided that you were going to hang up the phone on everyone else that decided to pick up. Because you are a poor example of what to be, you decided you were going to make everybody else would not, because you wanted comparison to be on your side, but not in any right way. You wanted comparison to be on your side by default. There are a lot of good things that happen by default, but we're not going to get into that because y'all going to say that I'm cold and I'm mean and all this other kind of stuff. But when it's on your side, it's okay. It's all right when you do it, but I'm wrong when I do it. Let's get into it. All right, all right, all right. And to the person who keeps saying that I'm doing something to them, I don't like you enough to do anything to you. I don't like you enough to pull any money out of my bank account. I don't like you enough to travel to any practitioner, anybody. I don't like you enough to get on the phone and gossip about you for more than 5, 10, 20 minutes. I don't like you that much. When I don't like a person, I don't talk about them. I don't look for them. I don't go towards them. I don't pick up the phone. I don't text them. I don't go toward a page. I don't want to communicate with them. I don't want to know what's going on. And I don't ask how they doing. There are a lot of people in my energy that run around saying my name, but they would never say none of the things to my face. I have somebody right now who wants to play like they have been my friend. They are my best friend. They've done anything for me. They've done nothing for me but look up and down over my shoulder, spy on me, stalk me, try to see what I got going on, tell people a lot of things that aren't true, mix a bunch of the truth in it, and then try to pull on the heartstrings of those who would know me, thinking that they're chasing clout, okay? This is what it is. Now I got a Cancer coming out here with the 12, with the trine, with a with a Capricorn and an Aquarius. This is the first 3 cards I'm pulling. You understand? There are people who know of you who could not do anything to make you feel bad about yourself because they, for some reason, looked at you and felt some kind of way. Not that you did anything, not that you said anything. It's just that you were not an option for them and they didn't like it. Some people felt as though they looked better than you, had more than you, but they kept watching you. Why were you the comparison? Somebody say they look, they fine shit, and they just trying to figure out why people see you is because you keep saying you fine shit, and that's unattractive to some people. Be mindful you're not supposed to be liked by everybody because a friend of all is a friend to none. It's somebody right now talk about I can have every man. I can have every man. Baby, there's a lot of stuff going on with a person that can have every man. Go down to the clinic. Look. There are beautiful women that have deteriorated because they told themselves the very same thing that you said. I can have every man. I can have every man. You sure can. You sure can. And you can have every disease, every STI, every STD too. You can have it all. Go on, get it. All money ain't good money. All jobs ain't good jobs. All opportunities ain't good opportunities. What are you in alignment with? Meditation, contemplation, apathy, reevaluation, disconnected, pause, surrender, letting go, new perspective, enlightenment, viewing things different than before, deep insight, sacrifice, change, release, ambitious, action-oriented, driven to succeed, fast thinking, defending beliefs. So someone is giving up what they got going on. They're disconnecting. They're taking the time to pause. They're going to let it go. They're going to sacrifice, and then they're going to hit the ground running, and they're going to run. Somebody's going to leave. Somebody's looking to put an end to a lifestyle, a job. Somebody's looking to put an end to a relationship. Someone is just looking to put an end to something. And in order to do that, they have to put an end to an environment. They have to put an end to the way they dress, the way they talk, what they listen to, what they're reading. Somebody is about to cold turkey a situation, because that's the only way in which to do it. Because if they explain or they try to tell people or they give anybody warning, everybody's going to try to convince them not to go. Everybody's going to convince them to take their time. Everybody's going to try to convince them, well, you don't have to let those things go, only because if they let those things go, eventually they're going to be next. And a lot of people don't feel comfortable with you moving forward, because they haven't made any steps for themselves, and you stepping away from them means that they haven't made a step anywhere. And they don't like that distance, because it brings about measurement, and they're starting to think about that. The further you get away, the more they're going to have to focus on themselves, and how dare you not leave me with anything to do. So somebody's about to cold turkey a situation. That's the best way in which to do it, but they don't want to have to explain, because they're going to feel some kind of way. Sometimes you have to go through a mourning season. Sometimes you have to let go of some things, and you have to be okay with being heartbroken. That's only going to last for a little while. It's called transitioning. It's called transferring. It's called getting used to. It's called stretching out. It's like leaving home for the first time and being homesick for a few weeks. But then on that next few weeks, you decide to surrender that homesickness, and you start getting comfortable, and you start finding things to do where you are, and you start finding that you have more freedom, because you're not boxed in by the old things and the old ways. You're not boxed in by the routine of the old days. You're not boxed in by the opinions of others who grew up when you were this small and did not know that you had new things on your mind when you got this tall. You have to outgrow things, and sometimes outgrowing things means letting people grow. People go so that you can grow. Sometimes you can't be friends with little TT and them for 20 years, because little TT and them still want to go to the same clubs, still want to hang with the same guys, still want to be around the same boys, the same girls, want to go to the same store. You know, a lot of people, they go up, they get money, they say, I'm real, I'm going back to the hood. And they go back to their childhood store, and they never go back to their stage again. Sometimes when you get out of environments, never return back. Never go back. Because the people that'll see you there will say, oh my God, they had a nerve to grow. Somebody might see you that will say, I remember when they said you would be nothing, and you were never supposed to hear that they said that you would be nothing, because in your face they played, in your face they smiled, in your face they said you was the homie, as long as you had money to whatever they was drinking, long as you had money to whatever they was smoking, long as you wasn't trying to go to work, you was making them look like they were doing something. But then the day you got up, they decided to go around. But you weren't supposed to hear it, because in the case that you came back, they were going to be there with open arms to receive you and whatever blessings you grew to get. But there happened to be a chance where you came through. And you didn't go straight to the ones who was... You didn't do that. You stopped one place and somebody said, hey, last time I saw you, everybody said you was dead. Last time I saw you, everybody said you was sick. Last time I saw you, everybody said you was down. Last time I saw you, everybody said you was down and out. You weren't supposed to hear that about yourself. And you say, yeah, well, dang. Well, who told you that? Well, this person said it, and that person said it, and this person said it, and you like, well, damn. I did the most for that person. Okay. Now, instead of you go out and come out a bag on a person, you just don't go back around them no more. So then they get a little bit more comfortable and the whispers become speeches. Well, that person thought they was all that. They didn't come back. Well, they are a hoe anyway. Well, they wasn't getting money the right way. They were they're shooting off at the mouth. And then there comes a day where they see you pull up at the light. And you ain't looked at them, and you ain't beeped at them, and you ain't pulled over. And they like, well, damn, they acting brand new, forgetting all that shit they talked in the room. And then when they finally get face to face with you, and you don't have a damn thing to say to them, now they hurt. Or they don't speak to me. They brand new. Not even realizing that the news did get back to you. You heard every damn thing they said about you. But they wanted you to fight. They wanted you to say, well, why you say this? They wanted you to say, well, I heard. They wanted you to mess up your face. Mess up your chances. Go and get yourself in trouble and get a bail. All of that would have been more acceptable than you shrugging them off and letting them go. See, you got to be real careful when you're pulling your head out of the lion's mouth. Especially when they got their teeth sharp, ready to bite you up. Because they already talked down on you. They already spoke death into your life. Because they wasn't speaking life into theirs. They already spoke death into your environment. Because now everybody looking at you like, why in the hell is they alive? Why are they still in the upright? Because these people told me that you was going to be down. And then when you have an audacity to show up in everybody's face and can't nobody talk trash without exposing themselves, then what? Then what? Now they got to try to double down behind your back. Oh, well, they ain't do nothing. Somebody must have got them out of that. And then they find out you did it yourself. Some people go real hard at proving themselves right, even though they was dead wrong. Some people go real hard trying to ride your coattails while telling everybody you had nothing and taking credit for everything. Yeah, some people go real hard to tell a lie, but they won't go hard to tell the truth. And this is why you have to keep being authentic. This is why you have to keep being you. This is why you can't let people come around and beat you down and talk you down for validation and for presence and all that kind of stuff. Don't worry about that. And this is why if you ever get a chance, if you get a chance to have childhood, when your children is in childhood, tell them about taking childhood things for granted. To make sure they know about going too fast. Pursuing adulthood way too fast. Try not to be a dork or a geek. That's some of the best things you could be nowadays. Because at least you know something. At least you can solve a problem. At least you aren't the problem everywhere you go. Some people are so prideful, but they don't understand that they are the problem. Some people take very much pride in taking up everybody's resources, everybody's time, everybody's air, everybody's attention. And the earlier you do that, the more exhausted people get with you. And then you find yourself abandoned and left and ostracized when you get older because you've cried wolf so long that you've taken the attention away from the people who actually did need support to grow and help the world. And then you wonder why the people who grew and helped the world don't have time to stop by the wayside because they remembered how much time you wasted, how many things you took for granted. How bad you look down on other people while you were wasting everybody's time and resources, while you were wasting your parents' times and resources, while you was wasting teachers' times and resources. Some of these kids couldn't even learn right because you was too busy can't get right. You wanted to be the class clown. You wanted all the attention because your mom and your dad weren't giving you attention. But instead of you coming and do right, you got to take up the teacher's attention because you can't say that your mom ain't doing right. You can't say that your dad ain't doing right. You can't say that your sister and your brother doing right. So you coming up and you taking all the education away from the kids that actually came to learn. Those are the ones that you guys are making popular now. The class clowns. The forever victims. The ones who cause problems and then cry wolf. Those are the ones that y'all put on a pedestal. The pretty idiots. The dumb jocks. The ones who really come to shuck and jive, but they really don't have anything to add into the earth but another problem. Those are the ones y'all like so much. Sad. Anyway, meditation, contemplation, apathy, reevaluation, disconnected, pause, surrender, letting go, new perspective, enlightenment, viewing things different than before, deep insight, sacrifice, change, release, ambitious, action oriented, driven to succeed, fast thinking, defending beliefs. So as someone goes forward, and this is the Cancer Hanged Man, Knight of Swords, 4 plus 12, that's 16, which is 7. This is a complete cycle. Somebody's complete cycle is to surrender all things necessary. Maybe they're going to go into priesthood. Maybe they're going to go back into education. Or maybe they're just going to go and learn a trade. Either way, someone is going to travel. They're going to relocate. And they're going to spend some time alone. Cancer, Trine, Knight of Swords. Cancer, Trine, Capricorn, Aquarius. This was the Cancer reading. There you go. Hope that helps. Now we're going to go into Leo. Hopefully these readings will get a little shorter as I go. I just had to get those messages out. It is 5:21 on the clock now for anyone who would like to know. Leo, we got the 7 of Cups. We got the 4 of Swords. We got the High Priestess out here. Okay, opportunities, wishful thinking, choices, illusion, searching for purpose, daydreaming, rest, relaxation, meditation, contemplation, recuperation, retreat, renewal, solitude. High Priestess, intuition, sacred knowledge, subconscious, divine, feminine trust, yourself, sensitivity, purity, high morals. Okay, and Leo, there's an opportunity for you to rest and meditate. This is the opportunity for somebody to rest and regroup. Someone needs to get a vision board together or at least gather some resources. Someone is about to someone is about to go through a little bit of death, okay? Petite morte. Someone is about to hit the climax of their life. Maybe someone is between their 30s and between their 20s and their 30s. Between their 20s and the 40s, I'll say. Someone is about to get a good energy boost in life. They're about to envision. They're about to be searching. Someone is actually coming upon their awakening. And they're starting to decide which way in which they want to go. They're meditating, contemplating. Someone is actually doing the work, the shadow work. They're working on their bodies. They're starting to write more. They're taking a journal. Someone is actually starting to take this journey seriously, and they're going into their gifts. They're becoming intuitive. They're becoming more sensitive to their needs as opposed to the world's calling. And that's the way in which you should operate. From the inside out, not from the outside in. There's too much debris outside for you not to contaminate yourself. Someone is learning about their spiritual hygiene. All right now, let's go. So someone is dying unto themselves. They're dying to the way that they thought things. They're unlearning some of the things that are not helpful going forward. And they're starting to actually hack out their own secret sauce, their own way, their own method, their own path. This is the way in which you should go. All right. There you go. Vision it, envision it, and then bring it into reality. Scorpio, that is passionate. You have Libra, scales, trying to balance it out, trying to restore. Sometimes you'll get more rest, sometimes you won't. But you'll decide what needs to be done and when. You're the High Priestess. You know intuitively what your body needs, what your mind needs, what you need to write down, what needs to be erased, what hasn't worked for you in the past, and what will work for you in the forward. Be careful as you go forward and find your path. Be sure to write down the things that work out as well as you write down the things that don't work out and use your discernment. All right, there you go. 7 plus 4 is 11 plus 2 is 13. Death and transformation. Proceed. That was for the Leo. Moon, Libra, Scorpio. That's fire, that's water, that's air. All right, Virgo. Okay, just 3 cards like that. Okay. Knight of Swords, 4 of Cups, 6 of Cups. Ambitious, action-oriented, driven to succeed, fast-thinking, defending beliefs. Meditation, contemplation, apathy, reevaluation, disconnected familiarity, happy memories, reminiscing childhood memories, innocence, joy, nostalgia. Virgo, you are trying to let go of something that you're trying to disconnect from something that happened in the childhood. Someone is trying to erase their childhood memories. They don't want to think about it. Someone is trying not to go there. All right, so the Knight of Swords is ambitious, action-oriented, driven to succeed, fast-thinking, defending beliefs. As they go forward on their new beliefs, they're trying to forget the past. The only way to forget the past is to actually, the only way to go forward through the past is to actually go through it. Somebody needs to go see the man on the couch or the woman on the couch or therapy. They need to release some secrets. There are some secrets that is eating this person up. And every time they try to embrace the childhood memories, they still go back and they see the bad memories that are still there existed. Whether they did them or not, or somebody did this to them, this is the things that they have to address. They feel a bit disconnected because there are a lot of things that they're trying to forget. And the thing about it is, if it happened, it's hard to forget, especially if it's playing in the background and you're acting it out subconsciously. So somebody needs to reconnect to their childhood and find out what's going on with them. What is Eating Gilbert Grape is a great movie, but definitely that is a good saying when it comes to this person in specific. Virgo, as you try to hold on fast to your new beliefs, as you try to be ambitious and even resilient in some senses, there is a lot of disconnection in you going forward. There are things in your childhood that you're not exactly proud of, but if you never address it, you can never correct it, okay? So someone needs to go forward. This is wish fulfillment. 4 plus 6. These are the only numbers out here. Virgo, Capricorn, Aquarius, Cancer, and Scorpio. Someone has some childhood trauma that they have never gone forward. They've never spoken to anyone, and they need to get those things out, or they won't be able to go forward and have any good relationships, businesships, friendships, anything like that, because there is some guilt that they are holding on to. All right, Virgo, guilt and trauma depends on whose it is. Take what resonates, leave the rest behind. Please don't force anything. Virgo, Capricorn, Aquarius, Cancer, and Scorpio. The number was 10. It is a complete cycle. Wish fulfillment is for somebody to actually go in and treat the damage. It's a lot of damage in these signs. It's a lot of damage. Virgo, Capricorn, Aquarius, Cancer, and Scorpio. It doesn't have to be these signs. I'm just saying these are the personality traits that will hold on to a lot of trauma, to a lot of hurt, and not say anything and hope that it goes away. But it's going to come out in their actions. It's going to come out in their words. It's going to come out in other things that they pick up and do. The pain is still there, whether you ignore it or not. The pain is still there, okay? All right. Now we're in Libra, death. Then we have the Ten of Swords. Then we have the Chariot, okay? Libra, endings, beginnings, change, transformation, transition, metamorphosis, end of cycle. Excuse me. Ten of Swords, painful endings, deep wounds, betrayal, loss, crisis, failure, collapse, defeat. The Chariot, 7, movement, progress, action, integration, determination, willpower, control, direction, departure, courage, okay? And this reading, it's not usually literal, because the last reading was death and transformation. But in this reading, this is Libra. This might be calling literal passing of someone, okay? So we have death, endings, beginnings, transformation, metamorphosis, end of cycle. Condolences to those who are under transition, or you have someone who is transitioning out unbeknownst to you. Condolences. Boy, it's not much I want to say because I want to be in the way of that. But yeah, Libra, be it you, yourself, someone in your family, a loved one, there is a death on the horizon. I do feel it. There's an energy of someone transitioning. There's something coming to an end, a relationship, a journey. Someone is definitely transitioning. Maybe there was long suffering. Maybe there was a autoimmune disease. Maybe there was something natural that happened that caused a long period of time. But someone is approaching soon. It is coming soon. It is fast moving. Maybe it's the end of a business. Maybe it's the end of a friendship. Maybe it's the end of a relationship. Or maybe this is really condolences because someone is definitely transitioning. Like I said, there's not a lot I would like to say. Death and transformation, these are the things that are above me. And all I can say is my condolences. And I hope your family does find comfort, the comfort that they need or the comfort that they deserve, okay? So that's 13 plus 10, that's 23, plus 7, that is 30, which is 3, which is divine intervention. Go with God. That was the Libra reading. I wanted to get out of there. That was a little bit much for me. Scorpio, Gemini, Cancer, and a Libra reading. Scorpio, Gemini, Cancer, and a Libra reading. The number was 13 plus 10 plus 7, which brought us to 30, which is 3, which is divine intervention. Peace be still. All right, Scorpio, what's going on? I want to get out of that melancholy. All right, Queen of Pentacles, 9 of Cups, 9 of Pentacles, 99. 99 and a half won't do, no do. He said the all right, hey, all right. He sent the blessings all night. He set the fingers all right. 'Cause 99 and a half won't do. All right, so Scorpio, we have the Queen of Pentacles, the 9 of Cups, and the 9 of Pentacles. Lots of nines. All right. Nurturing, practical, providing, financially, a working parent. That you don't have to have kids. If you don't have kids, that just means that you are nurturing to the people who are around you. You have things to eat. You have healthy things to eat. You have good advice. You actually listen when you ask people to talk. You actively listen. You heard them and they heard you. And you reply. You don't just react, okay? And then we have wish come true, contentment, satisfaction, emotional stability, luxury, and gratitude. Wonderful. Then we have this next 9, which is fruits of labor, rewards, luxury, self-sufficiency, financial independence. All right, go ahead, mommy. And if there's a daddy with a lot of nurturing, go ahead, dad. There we go. And this is the Scorpio reading. Scorpio, Sag, Capricorn, Pisces, and Virgo. The 99 is here to let you know that not only are you a great parent, you treat yourself well and you keep yourself well, and as well as your environment. You're also good to your kids. You don't have to be a Scorpio, and none of these have to be a sign, but this is the traits and this is the characteristics, okay? Someone is a passionate, thoughtful, intentional parent. They are fierce. They're a mama bear. They don't have any cut cards, but they do like to do it in style. They ain't on no ratchet stuff. They okay with making sure they wipe off your tennis shoes. They're okay with making sure that you don't have little stuff in the corner of your eye, that sort of thing. They make sure you have a little a little cologne sometimes when you walk out, a little perfume. They're a good parent, and they're not trying to force you into adulthood. They allow you to be a child while still maintaining the luxury of your imagination and your purity. Yes, that is part of luxury now, because a lot of people are trying to take that away from the kids as well as some of the adults. Purity is not just about being a child. There are some adults that still maintain purity. So 9 plus 9 is 18, which is transferring into divine. 1 plus 8, they pray, they're diligent, they pray for their home, their house, their kids, they meditate, they're always self-reflecting. There's a lot of shadow work being done when it comes to parenting. and also when it comes to themselves in relation to parenting. If you don't take care of yourself, how will you take care of anyone else? All right, all right, all right. That was the Scorpio reading. That was beautiful. It was wonderful. Take what resonates. Scorpio, Sagittarius, Capricorn, Pisces, and Virgo. Doesn't have to be these signs. These are signs, characteristics, and traits. Okay? All right. Take what resonates and leave the rest behind. Now we're going to get over to Capricorn. Why did the tower just fall straight out in Capricorn? What's going on, Cap? Cap is the knee. Someone's got knee problems. Someone's knee giving out. There's been a lot of rain lately. If you have a wrap or if you know anything about a poultice, you need to apply one, okay? Use more natural ingredients than you use instant ingredients if you know how to use a poultice, okay? It'll draw out some of the swelling. That is some old school stuff. For the new school people, they're just going to get some Aleve or some Excedrin or some Tylenol. But you got to be careful with taking all of that over the counter stuff, because it does mess with your stomach lining and it can mess with your liver and your kidneys as well as your nervous system. So be mindful as you do all of those medicines. A lot of times natural remedies will be the best thing as far as first defense, and the last resort should be the pills, okay? Temperance as we go forward, that is 14. So we've got 16, which is the tower. We've got the 5 of swords, and we've got 21, which is the world. 16, sudden change, upheaval, chaos, revelation, disaster, awakening, release, sudden insight. This is the Capricorn reading. Conflict, disagreements, competition, defeat, winning at all costs, sneakiness, bullies, theft, abusive relationships, the world, completion, accomplishment, wholeness, attainment, fulfillment, travel, celebration of life arriving, and that is in Saturn energy. So we've got feminine Aquarius and Saturn energy having a tower from stealing, and someone didn't get any fulfillment from stealing. They don't like what they built. They don't like the fact that they have to always worry about it being taken away from them. They don't like the fact that they have the expected changes. They can expect anything to change at any given time because of the life they built. It was okay while they was doing it. It was a really good high. I mean, it was a big high. They loved it. It was like, oh, they were the thrill seeker. But at the same time, when you're getting towers, when you're feeling like this from being sneaky, and this is what you built your world on, you've got to wonder. Your world can be snatched up from under you at any given time, so you better be happy with it right then and there, because yeah, we hear these stories. We see a lot of these stories on the YouTube where we see people going to Dubai, they're going to Croatia, they're going all over the place. They're wearing the nicest boots, they're popping the biggest bottles, they're seeing all of the nicest men, they're going to the biggest concert, and then they get off the plane, and then DEA and FBI and ATF and all that is sitting there waiting for them, and they no longer get to live those lives like that. Well, somebody is having the high life right now, and they're setting sail. All I know is that they better be very careful, and it's not a really good life if you got to constantly look over your shoulder, because somebody's going to drop, the other shoe is going to drop at some point in time. So somebody's built themselves a really exciting life. However, it's going to be very exciting when the whoop, 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 pull up on them and come get all that shit back. So 16 plus 5, that's going to be, well, damn, that's going to be 21 plus 21, which is going to be, make that 42, which is going to be a 6, which is equal, give and take, to the universe. So somebody knows, hey, what goes up must come down. So somebody knows that at some point in time, they had a good ride. They got a chance to live the good life, and now they're going to see the other side of it, okay? So, yeah, make sure you got those lawyers on retainers. Make sure you've remembered a few numbers so that you don't have to worry about it when you get up in there and you've getting your first phone call before you get over to the other side, all right? So, yeah, somebody needs to prepare for the long haul because they've had a good run. Okie dokie, and that is it. The tower, conflict, stealing, all that good stuff in the world. This is their world, and hey, the wheel does change. The world does turn as the wheel turns, okay? That's 21 plus 21, which is 42, which is 6, equal, give and take, to the universe. What you sow is definitely what you will reap. And that was the Capricorn reading. Sun, Moon, Rising. Take what resonates. Did I tell you all of the stuff? It was Aquarius. Feminine Aquarius and Saturn energy. And remember, we're going through double retrogrades right now. I don't remember when it's going to end. I'll be telling you at some point in time when I remember. All right, pull up Aquarius. Let's go, because that last one had the Aquarius energy in it. All right, so yeah, you're sharing. 59.95. Someone 59 or 95. Okay, and then we've got the 18 out here. 918, 518, something like that. Oh, 819. I-95, 195. Somebody traveling on 195 or I-95. I don't know. This pops up. I don't know. Okay. Competition, rivalry, conflict, disagreement, strife, tension, soul searching, introspection, contemplation, wisdom, truth seeking, being alone, independence, inner guidance, meditation, consciousness, the moon, illusion, mystery, dreams, intuition, fear, anxiety, subconscious, premonitions. Aquarius, you have a sexuality secret. Competition, you and the Virgo. You and the Virgo have a secret. Whatever it is, you and the person, whoever that is, y'all the only ones that think it's a secret. Everybody else see y'all for what it is. They just don't say it to y'all because y'all nasty when the truth comes out. You have a nasty disposition, so people don't like to tell you what they obviously know. Like, you ever see a person that think that they the only ones that know that they gay? And then they get all upset when they say it. And everybody's like, when was you going to tell yourself that? Because we already knew it. Yeah, somebody like that. Somebody doesn't know that everybody else knows them before they know them. That's that situation. Everybody know you gay. You the only one that just ain't come out of the closet. You so uncomfortable for no reason. Everybody else is taking you out of the closet. You are the only one that thinks you are still in there. Delusional. Anyway, competition, rivalry, conflict, disagreement, strife, tension, soul searching, introspection, contemplation, wisdom, seeking truth, truth seeking, being alone, independence, inner guidance, meditation, consciousness, illusion, mystery, dreams, intuition, fear, anxiety, subconscious, premonition. Somebody came out of jail with a habit that wasn't a secret habit. It's just that they didn't want anybody to know, and that's what they this is what makes them the most unreasonable, is that they hide in their sexuality. The women that they get really aren't the women that they like. They just get them because society or the people that they're around will accept them being with them rather than being with who they really want them to be with, even though they haven't even given society a chance to accept them being gay, because they haven't accepted them being gay. Maybe if they accepted it, everybody else could. Because really, don't nobody like the girls that you bring around, because they don't like you either. The girls that you bring around don't really like you. So those are the things that y'all share in favor. The women you like don't like you, and vice versa. But y'all using each other for whatever reason. It's a lot of that going around. Lavender marriages are more common than we think. So when you see them couples and they always gotta be in everybody else's face, 9 times out of 10, that is a lavender marriage in real life. It's just that nobody wants to say that they want to hook up with everybody else. They're just together for stability or for the look. Some people can't afford to leave certain situations. Some people are only together because of the financial reason or because of aesthetics. A lot of people are in relationships that they really don't want to be in. 5 plus 9, that's 14 plus 18. My bad, I said the quiet part out loud, didn't I? A lot of y'all somewhere y'all don't want to be. All because you can't get it in your name, or you're embarrassed, or your homeboy said that one looked right, but the one that you really like don't look like with your homegirl. Your homeboy already said she ugly. So you going to stay with the one that you don't like because of your homeboy. And your homeboy not even telling you that he like you. So it's a whole bunch of confusion out here. 32, that's 5 unexpected changes. So somebody's probably going to get some changes Unexpected changes. Somebody's going to move out unexpectedly. Somebody's going to relocate unexpectedly. Somebody's going to ghost unexpectedly. Intuitively, they're going to know. 9 times out of 10, you shouldn't ask for closure in this situation. But some people like to hurt themselves. So they're going to ask for closure even though they know the damn answer. Some people just really like to hurt themselves. And some people are masochists, okay? All right. So that was the Aquarius reading. Leo, Aquarius, Virgo, and Pisces. Competition, rivalry, conflict, disagreement, strife, tension, soul searching, introspection, contemplation, wisdom, truth seeking, being alone, independence, inner guidance, meditation, consciousness, illusion, mystery, dreams, intuition, fear, anxiety, subconscious, and premonitions. Somebody's in a lavender marriage, somebody's in denial, and somebody wants closure that they really don't need because they just like to hurt themselves. Okay? 5 plus 9 is 14, plus 18 is 32, turns into a 5. Unexpected changes. Be aware of the unaware, of the unknown. Be aware of the unknown. It's like the X-Files out here. All right, come on, Pisces. Come on, Pisces. Where did we start off in Cancer? For some reason, I feel like we start off in Cancer a lot. Cancer. I be calling the cards and they come straight out. Okay? 4 of Cups in Cancer. Yes. Knight of Swords, Capricorn, Aquarius. Knight of Swords been out here quite a lot. Justice in Libra. Justice and fairness. Okay, let's keep it going. Let's keep it going. This is Pisces reading. Meditation, contemplation, apathy, reevaluation, disconnected. Knight of Swords, ambitious, action-oriented, driven to succeed, fast thinking, defending beliefs. And justice, fairness, truth, clarity, equity, balance, cause and effect, law. Someone is about to observe or receive cause and effect. Someone has to go through justice. They have to be ambitious about it. They need to get through it. Someone has apathy and they're disconnected from everything. So somebody has decided to disconnect because they know that they might possibly be facing the laws of cause and effect. When you cause things, you have to expect an effect. Okay? That's 4 and 11, which turns that into a 15. Somebody is very obsessed. Somebody has a severe fixation on disconnecting from the law. Somebody don't want to be held accountable for anything. They're just hoping. It's like somebody sitting there like this. I hope they don't see me. 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 They see me? Do they see me? I hope they don't see me. I hope they don't see me. I hope they don't see me. I hope they see me. They're trying to wish and hope they pray themselves out of the way. Someone does not want to see punishment. They don't want. Somebody don't like to be an adult. Somebody don't like to be held accountable for a damn thing, but they like to hold everybody accountable and they like to do things, but they don't ever want the reaction to come. They don't ever want the end game to come. They always trying to duck out something. So Pisces is coming. It's coming. Justice is here. Lady Justice is holding them skills and she's got that sword out, okay? So Pisces, take what resonates. Sun, moon, rising. 4 plus 11 is obsession. Somebody is obsessed with evading the law, and the law is going to get you. Pisces, Cancer, Capricorn, Aquarius, and Libra. Take what resonates. Sun, moon, rising, and leave the rest behind. That has been your Pisces reading. Let's get on over to the Aquarius. The last but not least about the Aries. Last but not least is the Gemini. Aquarius, you talking about me? You talking stuff? I don't care. I don't give a flying fart. Ooh. Doop, 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 doop. It's 5:49 if anyone would like to know. King of Swords, 6 of Pentacles, 6 of Swords. That's crazy because I had that 9-9. Now I got the 6-6. Okay, double numbers. Hit me up. All right. King of Swords, Head of Heart, discipline, truthful, honest, mental clarity, authority. 6, giving, receiving, sharing wealth, generosity, sharing, charity, and sharing. 6 of Swords, transition, change, leaving behind, releasing baggage, moving on. So, okay, all right, Aries. So someone is definitely in their Emperor energy, ready for leadership. balancing out both polarities. King of Swords, head over heart, discipline, truthful, honest, mental clarity, and authority. They're grounded in this Taurus, and with Gemini is equal reciprocity. Double grounded because there's another Taurus energy coming in this Six of Pentacles, giving, receiving, sharing wealth, generosity, charity, and sharing. By grounding yourself, you're able to also transition and change because you know what it is you want, and you're going to stay on the path even wherever you go. You still have the same idea when you get there. That's double grounding. That's making sure that your feet will not be easily moved. When you get wherever you go, you're still going to have the same exact plan. And that's going to be good as far as that is concerned, because you don't want to always have an upheaval. You don't always want to change your mind, especially when you have a great plan. So ground yourself in your ideas and don't allow anybody to change your trajectory as you go forward. That is the 6 and 6. That is 12, which is 3, which is the divine intervention. You are now co-creating with Source. No one can take this away from you because they didn't give it to you. They didn't hand it to you. They didn't help you with it. You have co-created with God and God alone. How dare anybody try to steal any of your shine? This is the Aries reading. Double on the Taurus, Gemini, and Aquarius, which means you have the ability to think outside of the box. You actually have you have the wherewithal to actually give and receive ideas and criticism and active thought. And you are grounded enough in yourself to be able to take that criticism with a grain of salt. Without changing your idea, you're able to take suggestions. And that is pivotal in going forward. I don't know where that extra syllable come from. All right, so that is the Aries reading. Be careful as you are a leader. Everybody gets a little upset when they can't lead themselves out of a paper bag, okay? So there will be some people come along try to rub you wrong because they don't like the fact that they can't rub you the wrong way. So they're just going to keep trying to rub on you. Don't let them touch you. All right, so Aries, Gemini, Taurus, Aquarius, go forward, be great, be different. You are creating with the Creator. If God gave it to you, who can take it away from you? You didn't rent it from anywhere. You didn't abandon yourself. You didn't abandon your ideas. You stood the course. All right, Taurus, pop it up. 5 of Swords, 16, 10. Why'd you fall? What you fell over for? Okay, so Taurus, why are you in conflict, disagreements, competition, defeat, winning at all costs, sneakiness, bully, theft, abusive relationships? Somebody's feeling a bit embarrassed. They don't want to show them faces unless they can say that they won. But they should be embarrassed if they win. Some battles should not be won. Excuse me. Be back. Gotta blow my nose. Ooh. Mucus release. Brain power. Okay. Okay, so conflict, disagreements, competition, defeat, winning at all costs, sneakiness, bullies, theft, abusive relationships, sudden change, upheaval, chaos, revelation, disaster, awakening, release, sudden insight. Wealth, financial security, family, long-term success, contribution. So someone has definitely messed up the church's money. All right, so somebody has messed up public recognition. They have kind of messed up wealth. They have messed up their long-term success, and they have not been contributing to it. The only thing they did contribute is chaos. So somebody's definitely in conflict. They're having a tower moment, and this is the Taurus reading. And they've kind of messed up their reputation amongst the crowd of people. Someone's sneakiness and attempts to win at all costs at something they should not have even tried to win at all has bought them a tower. They have fallen from grace, and now the public sees them, notices them, and they call them like it is. Somebody is going through public humiliation that they did themselves. We got 5, 16, and 10. 16 and 10, that's 26 plus 5, that is 31, which is a 4. Someone has definitely destroyed their own foundation by way of whatever they thought. Yep. Someone thought they were going to make something go the way that they wanted it to go by way of manipulation and theft. And when it didn't go that way, they embarrassed themselves and everyone surrounding by it because they were so hard pinned that they were going to win that it actually destroyed them to actually lose. Now they got to show their face and they don't know if they can stomach that. The very thought of showing their face is actually painful. It's painful when you embarrass yourself, especially when you put yourself out there and you go so hard. But you know what's even more painful is taking advice from somebody who didn't have your best interest at heart in the first place, and you actually valued their opinion over the person who you actually tried to steal from. That's even more embarrassing. Damn, what a shame. Okay, 5 plus 16 plus 10, that turned into 31, which turned into a 4, which turned into someone's got a busted foundation and they've got to start from ground zero. All right, all right, all right. Gemini's to learn last but not least. Let's go. Let's chill. Let's settle down. Let's do what I want to do. Just me and you. Let's chill. Hey. I don't know where that came from. It just came out. Okay, Nine of Swords. Somebody is not liking this. Okay, Gemini, what's going on with yours? Somebody's butt hurt. 966, 966. Yikes. What's up with these nines and these sixes? Okay, so anxiety, worry, fear, depression, nightmares, insomnia, hopelessness, trauma, despair, giving, receiving, sharing wealth, generosity, sharing, caring, transitioning, change, leaving behind, releasing baggage, and moving on. So Gemini, in this Gemini reading, someone is butthurt over the sharing and giving of wealth, over whatever you reaped, you've sown, whatever you sown, you reap. Somebody is pissed off that you're able to go on to calmer waters. They are not sleeping very well. They do not like whatever you're reaping. They don't like what you sowed, and they dang sure ain't want you to reap it. If they could have taken it, they would have, because they don't want you going on to calmer waters. So Gemini, if this is you, Gemini, if this is you that is butthurt because someone is getting to sail to calmer waters, figure out why you aren't. If this is somebody who is mad about Gemini sailing on to calm waters, they need to figure out why they aren't. And that is my answer. 6 plus 6 is 12 plus 9. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, which is 3, which is divine intervention. God decided that this should not be. Some relationships are not ordained or welcomed by God. So some things have to be broken up. If you are in a situation where your lover or somebody that you want to be in a relationship does not want to be in a relationship with you, sometimes rejection is God's protection. Sometimes you don't get what you want. You should get what you need. Sometimes the partner that you choose for you isn't the partner that God wants for you. And only God knows what's good for his children. Trust in him. Pray about it. Test the spirit and you will understand. Maybe it may not be that person, but maybe it's something else that you need to be looking at. Sometimes you might not even be in alignment for a relationship. Sometimes a relationship will hurt you way more than if you were to agree to be by yourself. And you need to be able to see all perspectives, because sometimes rejection really is God's protection. And that was the last one, the last but not least. That was Gemini. So remember to have a great morning. Don't forget to put your recycling out. And have a good day. This has been Nyx. Don't come for me. I didn't send for you. Somebody might have emailed it.